As you guys know, they got the money. They got the stinking money. GM, Chrysler, $13.4 billion right now with another $4 billion coming in February. They got 102 days to repay it and one Car Czar to watch over that big chunk of change. Leo the Suit back on the program today. I'm Matt Farah, and today I'm going to give you my rules for the new Car Czar. You're watching Garage419.
This episode of Garage419 is brought to you by Valvoline's automotive series Under the Hood with Brandon and the Frog. Watch for new episodes at brandonandthefrog.com.
All right, Leo.
Hey.
Let's get rolling on this one.
Here we go.
So we've got all this money going to these car makers, right?
Finally.
And they have 102 days to find out how to pay it back and make some money on their own, right?
They've got to do reports between now and March 31st.
Okay. So someone's got to watch over this money, a czar, if you will, of the car world.
A Car Czar, they call it.
Right. Have they picked anyone yet?
No, they've got Paulson doing it right now.
His current job being Secretary of the Treasury, right?
That's correct.
Okay.
So Paulson is the guy looking over it, and they owe this guy reports about what they're going to do.
But what happens when Bush leaves office, Obama takes office, Paulson goes with him, right?
Goes, new Car Czar.
Okay.
Rumored Volker or someone else, but there's no Car Czar. This could be your job.
I have a suggestion.
Oh my God.
I think I should be the Car Czar.
What the hell? We're going according to height?
I'm kind of opinionated. Then it would be Wagner.
No,
but
you
he don't deserve it.
No.
All right, so I have gone to the trouble. Well, not trouble. This is what I do. I've come up with 10 rules for the automotive industry. And if I was Car Czar, I would implement these rules.
I'm all ears.
All right, so I'm going to run these by you because you being a consultant for many big automotive companies, you can help me out with these, right?
Yeah, here's the state of the industry. When I name my clients, people laugh out loud. You've got to fix the car industry for them.
That's not good. All right, here's my rules. Rule number 1, establish a Department of the Interior.
Don't we already have that?
No, I mean a department that tells these guys how to build an interior.
There you go.
That's what I really mean. I'm not even, that may sound funny at first. I'm not kidding. Really, build a friggin' interior, okay? It's got to at least keep up with the Japanese competitors and approach the European guys, okay?
Well, I'm with you on this because some interiors look like they're like the leftovers from a Transformers movie.
Exactly.
And the other big deal was to make the knobs bigger for us old folks. Wrong, and wrong.
No, okay? Most importantly, when it comes to interiors, if you're coming out with a new Halo car, like, say, the Dodge Challenger, don't use a steering wheel out of a 4-year-old Chrysler 300. We notice those things, okay? Rule number 2, replace the term retro future with future, right? Innovative design.
Look, I'm right there with you on this one. I want Camaro to be the last retro car. If you can't make the future cool, then get the out of the way.
Listen, the peak of American design should be happening now. It should not have happened between 1966 and 1971.
You can't rebuild the auto industry and just keep doing throwback cars.
Right.
Move it on.
Remember in the 50s when they promised us these crazy designs, the Firebird concepts?
Yep.
That was radical for that time. Bring that stuff back. Be advanced. Be creative. Don't look to the past for the future.
Well, and
you
you need to do it because the Europeans, Japanese, and even the Koreans are doing cool stuff.
Right. Number 3, appearance is everything. Okay, so when I'm talking to COO Fritz Henderson there from General Motors,
I know where you're going.
Don't wear a sweater on MSNBC. Suits. Okay, suits. Don't take private jets with just one person in them to the bailout hearings. You know what I mean?
Your comment, appearance, really perception. If you give people the tools to think the wrong things about you, you're just damning yourself to start.
Right. For example, the Toyota Prius is not actually the most fuel-efficient car in production right now. That would be the Jetta diesel.
And Prius, great marketing tool that Toyota's used.
Looks like a jelly bean. There we go. If it looks like a jelly bean, it must be fuel efficient. Perception, people, okay? Rule number 4. If you want to build a production sports car, you must also have a factory-backed racing program.
I'm totally on board with this. I remember someone telling me long ago, you know, we make cars, so we race cars, and that makes sense. I don't need another investment in Knight Riders 2.
Yeah.
I don't need $6 million for an Oprah giveaway love fest.
The product placement has to go.
Just stop that stuff. Build a car, race a car, support the craft, showcase your product.
Well, the thing is, if you're racing a car, you're going to have the enthusiast market behind you. You're going to have R&D for your production cars, like what Audi is doing. And the problem is, if people aren't buying cars, the first thing to go is the racing program. That's not going to help. Get rid of the product placement. I can suspend disbelief You know, if I'm watching Transformers and I think that these robots came down from space to save us, but when they all turn into General Motors products, like, come on now. You know what I mean?
Well, and here we go. I've just saw Transformers, and unfortunately I'm laughing out loud with the Camaro tie-in and the money they spent.
Yeah.
Audi is a full-line manufacturer across the globe. They're moving from prototypes. They're going to do production-based race cars. Why?
It's a great move.
Because it's a relevant move to their connection.
And the actual consumer can relate.
There you go.
You know, you see that R8 GT3 on the racetrack, I want that technology in my street car. So
you know, there's a scary, and now look, I'm all for getting out of NASCAR. There's no connection to the real cars. I mean, whatever. But it's a scary indictment on the people running the car business. Are they really car people if their first cut is to get the hell out of racing cars?
Exactly, right?
Okay.
Number 5, before we take a break here, I want to encourage oil companies to switch to nuclear power, which could make it easier to provide hydrogen filling stations everywhere across the country. I think hydrogen technology is going to be what saves the car business in the next 100 years, except we have to redo the infrastructure first so it works.
You may be onto something, because the little work I've done with the oil business, petroleum industry, they've already bought up all the hydrogen rights around the globe. So they're the people to do it.
And unfortunately, hydrogen works so well that, I mean, the car companies, for the most part, are pretty much ready for it. It's just that the oil-based infrastructure really isn't.
And Bush lost me when he quoted switchgrass as the solution, and E85 ain't it, and forget it.
I can't even count the number of times Bush has lost me, okay? Coming up on Garage419, I'm going to give you the top 5 things that I would do for the automotive industry if appointed Car Czar. Stick around.
Frog and I had a bet, I lost, and this is payback. By losing this bet, you've given me an opportunity to teach people about cars using the most tried and true method of all, primal urge. It's all about not being a severe driver. And sometimes we have to remind ourselves.
Sensitivity training.
You know, I demand a lot from my cars. I drive them on the highway, drive them on the racetrack. I even drive them in and out of New York City in the dead of winter with the top down. But I can do all that because I take care of my cars, you know, and if you take care of your car, it won't let you down. And sometimes, well, you gotta show your car a little love, just like Brandon the Frog do. Check out their latest episode of Under the Hood over at brandonandthefrog.com. While you're there, check out their last 3 car care episodes in their full-length glory. I'm gonna be there checking out their episodes, so I'll see you there. And we're back with the top 5 things I would do to help the automotive industry if I was the Car Czar. Leo's here to either affirm or disaffirm my points, all right? Number 5, every car manufacturer should have a mandatory supercar requirement that's exempt from CAFE regulations.
Look, haven't we learned anything from watching Bond movies with Olga Kurylenko, or whatever her name is?
Yeah.
Everything needs an aspiration.
Absolutely.
If you kill the supercars and just run around with these little commoditized cars, the auto industry will lose that passion. You need that supercars.
Right. Case in point, money's tight this year. What does Honda do? They cut F1 and they cut the new NSX. The NSX is one of the greatest sports cars of all time. It may not have had the best engine and it may not have been the fastest, but in terms of a balanced performance car that was a good value, it made a great halo car.
You know, we had this debate a couple of shows ago, and I fear that things like this are showing up right. BMW's cutting V8s and programs are being cut left and right. The bottom line is, I have a real problem with the auto industry from this standpoint. It feels like they look at cars as tote bags.
Yeah.
They talk about how they carry things. You've got to look at the essence of the car. People love driving it. It's an experience, and you've got to keep that attached to this. We're not doing toasters here.
Right, and as long as kids want to put posters on their walls, we need something to put on those posters, you know what I mean? And guys like me need to go out on the weekend and have fun.
And it ain't a Prius?
Yeah, no,
Okay,
right.
fine.
You know how I do have fun in a Prius? I would strap a bomb to the undercarriage, okay? All right, number 4. I don't know what order I was going in on this one. It doesn't matter.
Why do I feel like
Next one.
Letterman and Schaefer? But keep going.
The J.D. Power and Associates Initial Quality Study.
Yeah, this should be good.
This is the worst idea ever because all these American companies are building cars to compete in this initial quality study, okay? What does initial quality mean? Initial quality is like the tunnel that the Roadrunner paints on the side of a cliff for the coyote to see from a mile away and say, that looks like a tunnel that I can run really fast through.
Well,
Instead he ends up smashing into a wall.
It's supposed to measure how good the car is coming out of the factory.
That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. Measure how good the car is after it's been driven around hard for 3 years and has 50,000 miles on it. If it's still good, then it's a good car.
I think you need to do the cost of ownership thing. I again agree. And besides, you would save the industry and the dealers a ton of money as they try to job the system anyway.
Right. People ask me why I like foreign cars as opposed to American cars. Well, because for the most part, a used foreign car will not have the squeaks and rattles and cracks and fading plastic that a used American car will have. Flame me if you want. That's been my experience. Do you agree, Leo?
I like import cars.
All right, moving along. Car companies should be allowed to use private jets, okay, before you go crazy on this, if the opportunity cost is there. So for instance, if they have to visit 5 or 6 different cities in a day, and they have a group of 10 people that all have to do it, they have to have meetings on the plane. It may be more expensive to fly around, but the opportunity cost of having those meetings on the plane and bringing that crew with you makes it worth it to use the private jets.
That was a very, very good example. Listen, this whole process lost me when the auto industry was stupid enough to give the government this tool about flying corporate jets.
Yeah.
The reality is it was a distraction. The reality is there's a part of it that's necessary for doing business. You gave a valid example.
Yeah.
You know, everyone's missing the big picture by taking away their jets. What's
Well,
next? Take away ties?
They had such a stupid idea to take these jets to the bailout hearings that it became front and center news for them, and it really screwed them because, you know, the problem is they took the jets for one person to get to one city.
Can you imagine?
Terrible idea.
Can you imagine everyone at the Detroit airport trying to get on a plane with all the technology that you need to go fix an assembly plant?
I mean,
then
yeah.
making 4 more stops, nothing will ever get done.
I know.
Oh, wait a minute.
Oh wait, exactly. All right, this one might get me here. I think we need to hire Steve Jobs or someone like him to tell these car makers what the buying public wants before the buying public even knows what they want. I think that the companies have been too reactionary in building cars and saying, this is what the people want. No, this is what your research showed the people wanted for the past 2 years, not what they want tomorrow.
See, this is the difference between Matt and I. My version of that Car Czar rule is shoot the researchers. Maybe that's a little dramatic, but you're absolutely right. If you think about it, and I'm going to use GM as an example. Long ago, GM blurted out, they know what the consumer wants. And they built great cars in the 50s and 60s. Then we got research driven because that's how marketing is. And everyone was asking Joe Sixpack and probably Sarah Palin in Alaska what a car was all about. And we got what we got. You
Yeah.
need a visionary. Now, you need a visionary that also knows what to do with that vision. And,
Right.
and frankly, Jobs has pulled it off.
Well, here's what I mean. Steve Jobs, listen, between the Mac computer, the iPod, the iPhone, you know, people didn't know that they needed an iPod until there was an iPod. And all of a sudden, it's the gold standard.
But see, here's the perfect example. It wasn't just building the damn thing. He thought about what people would want to
Yeah.
experience and do, and then he connected the dots with what to offer them. The problem I fear with the auto industry is it's very incestuous.
Yeah.
The auto industry loves to hide behind the fact that we're a special business. I hear that with every goddamn industry client that I meet with. It may be special, but that doesn't mean that only we know the secrets.
Right.
And whether it's Jobs or an outsider or just a new vision, there's got to be something here.
Well, that brings me to my last point, actually. And by the way, if you really are going to go for Steve Jobs, I would get on it because let's just say there's a time limit on Steve Jobs' availability. Finally, and lastly, and look, the number 10 reason to make me Car Czar. You guys need to listen to me a little more.
Oh my God.
And not just me, people like me. New media. Automotive industry
okay.
needs to listen to new media. And I mean online, video type stuff, bloggers, because we can get this news, process it, and spit it out there and talk directly to the people without, you know, network interruption much, much faster than print or TV can.
See, and my argument is that's all true, but the real essence of why the internet and bloggers matter, they have the connection to today's consumers that the auto industry lusts for.
Yeah.
I mean, here, let's talk about Chrysler. Didn't they just do a press conference and X'd all you guys out of it to
Yes.
not include because
Yes.
they need? Okay.
Here's what, look, it's as simple as the comments box. Everywhere you can watch our show, you can comment on it, whether it's on YouTube, our main site, you can leave a comment. And believe it or not, I read the comments. So I give you information, you give me back your opinion right away, and a lot of times I go to the car people and I tell them what you guys are saying.
See, if I was Car Czar, I would give you guys 1 day a week to make binding decisions in the auto industry.
That would be awesome.
I would take the traditional print media. I'd give them 1 day a week in the assembly plant.
Oh, God.
As a matter of fact, I'd give them a full-time job because their industry, print, is about as dead as the auto. No, forget it.
Nice try. So, all right. So let's say, Leo, let's say you could choose your Car Czar. Who's it going to be?
Well, I'm going to vote for you, and I'm not going to vote for Paulson.
Stop kissing my ass.
Nah, well, you know what? It's really...
Even though you're just at the right height for it. Oh! Zing!
No comment. Here's my comment about Paulson. Paulson, besides not knowing about what we're talking about, he wrote a 3-page memo for $700 billion. Now, the auto industry owes the government reporting to Paulson. By that math, the auto industry owes the government 105 words on their $17.5 billion.
105 words?
Yeah, today's report.
I wrote more than 105 words for this show.
So Paulson's not the guy, because...
I wrote this much just for the show. Can I have $700 billion, please?
There you go. Yeah, okay, fine.
So, all right, I'm going to vote, since it's not going to be me, I'm going to vote for Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh, I'm going to vote for Will Smith, because he's saying...
Will Smith is way too G-rated. Samuel L. Jackson motivates. Get these motherfucking unions out my motherfucking factory. That's what I'm saying.
Strong. I like it.
It is strong. We want to know what you guys think. What are your rules for the new Car Czar and for the new industry? I want to know exactly what you guys think. Leave a comment below, and I will read your comments and choose the best ones for next week's show. Leo, thanks so much, man.
You're welcome.
Hopefully this will work. I'm Matt Farah, and you've been watching Garage419.